Hey there, fellow salvagers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts Garrison. Episode 47, Giving Up on Boneyard Freebies. So I've heard that it is possible to find a 4 mod. It'd be really cool if you could get like up to a 6 mod for the Viz cartridges. So that potentially you could have a Viz cartridge that just has everything built into it. But obviously because you have 2 slots, maybe that's not necessary. But that would still be pretty neat to find like the holy grail perfect cartridge. Guns. Okay, my boosted healing wore off. Getting another dose wouldn't be a terrible idea. Especially if I'm gonna head back to the sundries dealer and buy the furniture that I need to buy anyway to complete the ship. Can always go for another dose of the good stuff. I'm actually surprised the dosages are as cheap as they are. If you're trying to remove scars, it's hella expensive. But the like healing boosters are pretty inexpensive, which is unusual. I've also been told, and I don't know if this is true, so I want to make sure everyone knows this is hearsay, that it doesn't stack with the bed's healing, that they're like the same buff. Another katana. Well, look at that. I'm a collector now. The thin line between collector and menace to society. Oh, I've already been through those. So I think we're done with this one. Dual wielding? If only, right? I mean, I guess I could put my bag down. I feel like Deadpool. This will just be the spare. The Bandit Intimidator 2.0. There's not too many derelicts left out here. We're almost through the list, and I think once we're through the list, I'll head back to port and just bite the bullet and buy the stuff we need. It's not really about cost, it's more about principle. So I think we have 2 more hops, the 2 more derelicts. There's 1 and 2, these 2. I'm not going to bother with that one or that. Well, maybe I'll head down there. We'll see how I feel after these next 2 hops. But, as I said, it's about the principle of not paying for anything that we don't absolutely necessarily need to buy. Being as self-reliant and scrappy as we can. Hope I don't collide with this thing. I'm not gonna speed up and... Yep, we hit. I was going kind of fast, but not fast enough to smash. Too bad. The silhouettes that you see aren't exact. So you can't just use them as a gauge to avoid collisions. They'll lead you astray. That's good enough. We'll be there in 20 minutes. But I think those little bumps, like, just... maybe they added damage here? It's kind of hard to tell. I'm not taking the core. I don't need money. I've got 700 grand and nothing to spend it on. So I'm taking parts for the boat. But money is just not something you need it. I mean, think of it this way, from Eric's perspective. Money helps you do things with society. Right? It buys things that society has to offer. He doesn't want what society has to offer. So money is like an anchor. You know, it's the same as like the hippie peace communes where they like don't want to be tethered to a capitalistic society. It's different in Eric's case, but money is a means to an end, and everything that it could possibly get him, he's already received. Oh, my meal wore off. Bummer. Oh, yeah, there's even more derelicts that just like phased in. I have found that if and I'm obviously whipping through these derelicts really quickly. Like I'm barely looting them at all. The game does refresh reasonably well. I don't have a lot of complaints on that front. Some people I do see on like the Steam forums, like people complaining that they run out of things to loot, and I'm like, how? Like even if you run yourself down to 0, you could just take a nap and have plenty when you wake up. Host Brother, a D2E Titan Max. Oh, it has a heavy water tank. Yeah, and it's 3 fists full and a working nav. So just because I don't need... Oh, what am I doing with this? Just because I don't need money doesn't necessarily mean I won't, like, take the things that are worth a lot. Because it's convenient. Regardless, I'm not sure I see anything that we need to finish our rooms. And I should cover what the list is, just so that you're familiar. So going back over to this overlay, if we are trying to make a wellness room, it is 2 wellness items, like treadmill and strength trainer. If we just do a fridge and a sink, technically it's a wellness room, but like a pretty lame one. For a rec room, table, fridge, TV, bar top, terminal, arcade probably is in that list as well, I'd imagine. And then for the galley, it's table, chairs, and a fridge. I guess I really haven't been doing a good job of looking for tables and chairs, but even then, tables and chairs are oddly pretty rare. Like, you don't find them all that often. Hey, a spare suit. Good, because my last suit got destroyed by someone who cares. B word. She got me pretty good, though. She tooled me up. And never backed down. So, like, best fight I've had so far. Or worst fight, depending on how you measure. Oh, well, look at that. That's unusual to find. A wayward laser charger? This is almost full nuclear? Yeah, it doesn't have a cryo. It has a laser ray, but not MHD pellet. So it doesn't have a fuel reg, it doesn't have a cryo, it doesn't have a core pump, doesn't have a capacitor. So it's like a half, 50% reactor, maybe. It has a lot of attachments, but they're duplicate attachments. It's not bad. But it's nothing I need. Heavy water tank. Oh, and a fully working CO2 scrubber. That's unusual-ish. The only thing I'm going to take here is the heavy water tank, because that's worth a lot of money. And maybe water. Oh, I can't get in there, can I? Game is hiccuping hard. I'd imagine... Well, it depends on how sophisticated their, like, ice mining would be. But I'd imagine... in a world like this one, ice or water would not be that expensive, because, like... Well, it could also be used as propulsion. Right? Because you could split water into hydrogen and oxygen, depending on how easy it was to get power. And then you have oxygen for, you know, life support, and hydrogen for fuel or propulsion. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe water would be pretty pricey as a result. I'm not sure. Alright, let's drag this thing back. Check out a few more. Yeah, it fully depends on how cheap it would be to get your hands on power. And thrust. You know, mining ice would be really expensive if the thrust required to get from point A to point B was pricey. So unless something new pops up, I think it's just 2 more that we'll search, and then we'll head to the sundries and buy what we need, fulfilling the requirements for the last few rooms. And of course, I'm restoring the stupid heavy water tank. What a pointless endeavor. So in terms of skills, we're getting close to fully mech construction, combat engineering, civil engineering, and armed melee combat. Software engineering, of course, we haven't really touched, and unarmed melee combat, I only accidentally leveled up. I don't even recall when that was, to be honest. Filling some of our... There we go. Personal needs. Considering all of Earth's water came from space, there should be a lot of it out there. It depends on the state of the universe. I mean, in this solar system, this is like our solar system. And in our solar system, there is a lot of water. But, that doesn't mean it's easily accessible. The same is true of Earth's water. There's a lot of, drinkable fresh water on Earth. Some of it is hypothetical. You know, deep underwater. Or deep underground. But getting to it, that's a whole different matter. Golden Bebop. Another Titan Max. Looks, wow. It actually has a lot of stuff. It's a bit of a junker. But it is full of components. Lots of Earth water isn't drinkable. That's also a matter of just like desalination. Which is a solvable problem. Which is actually pretty decently been solved. It just hasn't gone to scale. Right open. So after this, there's one more derelict to check. And then we'll go on a shopping spree. Huh, that's a not broken cooler. You're right, it is a pretty large ship. I think it's not, certainly not the largest, but I think it's, doesn't have a lot of like just random cargo storage that some of the larger ships have. I think that's what makes it look so much larger than normal. There are certainly bigger ships than this, but most of the bigger ships just have giant cargo areas that are just empty. And there's not a lot of empty space of this ship. It's chock full of stuff. Even the cargo areas have crates and stuff on the floors. Lots of room for activities in this one? I guess? I'm surprised by like the lack of PDAs. I found a few, but nowhere near the rate at which I was finding them like last stream. Oh, no anti-G benefits. Okay. You know, I don't think I have leggings like anyway. So let's take them. Is that it? There's a few bins outside, I guess we'll check. But, one more shot, one more ship. Will it be a yacht? I highly doubt it. The other thing that we could do is we could try to track down the yacht, go to the ship vendor and see who's selling the yacht and try to, you know, figure out where it is or click around a whole bunch. Alright, so our nanorobotics have fully worn off. Fine. Reading YouTube comments about other players saying that they like got stabbed and they like limped their way to the nanorobotics treatment so that they wouldn't bleed out. It's never happened to me. I was not that injured this time around, but it does sound pretty epic to be like near dead, like trying to survive. Sounds fun. There, stretch pocket. I put the pills in my pocket. Why am I... Oh, yeah, I don't have any cloth to repair with. Or restore with. We should be getting there any second now. Four minutes. Why do I keep grabbing the... I think I'm trying to restore the katana, but I can't find cloth, which is weird because I have a backpack full of cloth. So I don't really understand why he can't figure out how to restore it. There's plenty of material. I don't know. Oh god, okay, we're coming in way hotter than I thought. We're only a kilometer away and we're moving 100 meters per second. There we go. That'd be kind of an inglorious way to end the series, is just to like collide and die. Under permanent house arrest is the name of the ship. Oh, but there's no pirate on it. In fact, this ship looks pretty bad. I mean, I'll check it out, but it doesn't look like it has much. Pretty funny name. Under permanent house arrest. That sounds like a ship where, like, they just put you in the Boneyard orbit, and then they uninstall your nav console, and you're like, all right, good luck. Well, kind of like Firefly with the out of gas episode. Being marooned. It's weird that the crates are... Well, I guess cargo webbing would, like, go above and below the crates. So never mind. I was going to say, it kind of looks weird that it's, like, underneath the webbing. But I guess that makes sense. Webbing wouldn't really work otherwise. Come on. Give me a new cartridge. So of all the cartridges I've had, I don't think I've had... Well, no, I did pick up that one modded heat map. But I would love a modded cartridge that has heat map built into it as like a part of it. I think heat map is what I'm missing most. I can shift click it automatically to put it in a fluid container. True. I used to do that like accidentally with blood as a result of like beating the meat or like fighting people and like putting blood into my you know, flask, and it was gross. Because then you, like, would drink it. Like you're a vampire. It was a little weird. Just a little. I can't wait for the patch notes for Ostranauts to be like, made it more difficult to accidentally drink blood of your victims. One of those kind of patch notes where, like, it doesn't make sense to anyone unless you know. And if you know, you know. Because I've been there, done that. Like, damn it, didn't mean to drink their blood. Oh well. Good combination. 5555. Okay. Interesting. A drill, 2 baseball bats, a work safety poster, vodka, coffee, and a t-shirt. Nice. Now this one has multiple grav pens, 5 splints, a whole bunch of cloth, and a gun. It's an interesting combination. Oh, here we go. PDA. Nothing like adding a gun to the splints and bandages. Well, given my ability with a gun, I've only been shot once in the game, and it was my own ricochet. I pulled out one of the hull-safe handguns, tried to shoot a raider, and ended up somehow shooting myself in the arm. Very capably. Oh, God. Alright, I'll go through these crates. I'm gonna regret it, but if I'm not mistaken, this was like the final one, so I might as well check the whole thing. Hey, Zoltar. Well, welcome to your first stream. I don't usually stream at this hour, which is probably why it's one of the first times you've ever caught me online. And thanks for stopping by. You managed to shoot an O2 can, and you donated the O2 can to K-Leg. Was it, like, leaking? Like, super damaged and to the point where it was going to explode, or was it just, like, a joke? I'm going to start prying these open. I'm tired of hacking. Alright, that's all the crates. There's still... Oh, there's a few more crates. It straight up burst? Yeah, I've blown up a few. Especially the first time, like, I tried to figure out how to fill a canister. God, I blew up so many canisters. Just because if you're not, like, tinkering with time acceleration... It takes like a second to fill a canister and 2 seconds to make it explode. There's not a lot of tolerance there. I mean, honestly, I kind of think it's silly how quick they blow up. I feel like it should give you a little bit more wiggle room. Oh, you know, I know when you're holding a rack, you can actually just check its contents. I don't know why I didn't do it that way. Like... Subfloor bin has a brown duster. Okay, so I can just drop it. I think that's it. So let's head back to K-Leg and buy the things we need to satisfy the rooms we lack. There's a tier 2 here. Let's figure out what it is. This is a damage and mass with rainbow, old red, glitch. Yeah. Yeah. No. Nah. No. That's funny. What is it? Oh, God. Okay, sorry. There we go. Does it just read glitch? Old red rainbow and hacked. That's that's funny. Totally unusable, but pretty funny. I hadn't seen that before. I don't really need racks for the room. I got plenty of storage space. I'm not concerned about that at all. Okay, headed back to K-Leg, I guess, to buy what we need. And it's facing me, so that's actually pretty convenient. Did the game get a big update? Not a huge one, but yes. So it got visors built into your PDA. So your PDA is more like a Pip-Boy now. And you can have cartridges installed in your PDA that gives you data overlay layers, which I'll show you in just a minute. So we are at K-Leg in 20 minutes or so. So right now, my current PDA is installed on my arm. So if I move my backpack to the ground, you can see PDA is on the arm. Like a Pip-Boy, obviously. No, stop. What do you... No, go back. Cut it out. And then the cartridges in it are modded, and they have mass, pressure, power, damage, pressure, lighting, heat map. And what this allows me to do is if I open up my visor, I can have overlays. So this is the damage to my ship, and these are different gradients for me to cycle through, like view types. Here's mass. Some more massive objects are one color and low mass objects are another, or price. So I could do, well, one sec. Like price overlay, old red might be nice. Once the game allows me to click. Where like the hydrogen tank and the nav console and the helium tanks are like, you know, colorful. There's pressure, where I have pressure and where I don't. So like the white is the pressurized area. And these overlays also allow you to ignore light. So this is my FOV with light. This is my ship without FOV, and this is my ship without lights. Completely unnatural looking, but allows you to visualize things a lot easier so that you can essentially like X-ray. I mean, at some degree or another, it almost feels a bit like a cheat because it gives you like honestly too much information for essentially almost free. But it does make searching ships so much easier, and then maintaining your own ship so much easier as well. So here's like the rainbow view for damage, and you can see there's like damage back here. Oh, I'm restoring the katana. Well, there goes all my cloth. Rip. We should be docking any second anyway. All right, K-Leg. We're coming in. So for the wellness, I'm going to keep it simple and just do treadmill and weight bench. For the recreation, table, fridge, maybe bar top and TV. And then the galley is really straightforward as well. We just need a table and chairs. Oddly, more chairs than we have crew members, but whatever. We'll buy a bunch of chairs. Alright, here we are. I'll probably hold on to the katana, the spare katana. I don't feel like I need to part with it. Here we go. Heavy water tank. The cartridges that I took out for some reason. At this point, I'm just going to start selling the grav pens. They're just like getting in the way. The suit I'm going to hold on to because it is my spare now. Nice that I'm able to part with this transponder. Ooh, nice. That's a pretty penny. The cartridges themselves, and then of course the bin file. That one's less sexy, but still not bad. That one's pretty sexy. Confidential board meeting. Someone's getting blackmailed. Wow, that Price Viz cartridge is $33K? And I don't even need it? What is in my own PDA? Because my own PDA has Price Viz built into a bunch of other things. Shouldn't that be, like, ridiculously pricey? No, it's not. That's so weird. Oh, maybe it's because it's used? No, it shouldn't. That shouldn't be the problem. I think that's just, like, a bug. That it's, like, priced that high. I'm not really sure. Whoa! That data card was nice. It had, like, 10K on it. More. Sweet. 118K. Alright. That pays the bills. Let's see what we can get from the scrap and supplies before we go to sundries. The scrap would be the cheapest place. Oh, also the fence, technically, but I don't want to talk to anyone, so I'm not going to bother talking to her. Alright, so here we are at, supplies. And now they are, selling cartridges. So, when I first played last week, I hadn't had a new inventory update. And I speculated that it was like, I just wasn't given, you know, I just needed a inventory update before being offered the possibility of buying interesting overlay stuff. And that seemed to be the case. So there's a bunch of the default cartridges that are now here, which is cool. So we have pressure, power, damage. I don't know if that's always sold, but I imagine at least some are sold regularly. And to the scrap dealer. Come on, keep moving. Scrap dealer doesn't have anything I'm looking for. So now we're going to head over to the Mescaform. To the sundries. Now the only worry that I have is I'm not sure how much room I have in my barter zone for like a lot of furniture, so I might need to do these in batches. I think I will do them in batches. So we'll do the wellness first. So the wellness is strength trainer and treadmill. I can probably get away with like more than that though. Okay. Treadmill, check. And strength trainer, check. Then, if we want a galley that is a table, check. And 4 chairs. And then if we want and a fridge, but we already have the fridge. If we want a recreation room, that's a table, fridge, and rec items. So another table. That isn't a dining table, I think. Is there a different table? So we'll buy a smart TV. A jukebox. A computer terminal. Arcade cabinet. I have a lot of room, so I'm not too worried about space. I'm just worried that my barter zone fills up, but hopefully it won't. And then one more generic table. Bar table? I don't know if the bar table's correct, but we'll see. So it's 50k transferred to the barter zone. And what we'll do is we'll get all this installed, and then we'll do a new reassessment of the ship to make sure that it's exactly as we expected. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Ostranauts.